going to see if I remember how to do this show after an extended, well-earned vacation. No, it wasn't a vacation. I was working up in Chicago, Cleveland State last night against Loyola Chicago. Welcome to More Sports and Less Levine. Our lines are open at the beginning of the show at 575-0403. A big show tonight. We have Bob Rice, a former NFL official, will join us. We'll talk about the Super Bowl and what it's like to be out there on the field. He was there twice. Roger Perlmutter has written a book, put together the book called Sports Officiating, a career handbook. So if you're interested in sports officiating, we've got the guy here that'll tell you all about it. A little later, the editor of the book, Janine Drymiller, will join us. So we'll talk officiating tonight. Maybe if I screw... When Patrick screws up, which of course rhymes with hat trick, meaning he's allowed 3 mistakes per night, maybe we'll have Bob blow the whistle on him, and we'll penalize him. I'm not sure what. 1 slice of pizza, perhaps, will be... We're going to come on back. Bob Rice, a former NFL official and then supervisor. His son's now an official in the NFL. And Roger Perlmutter, who has put together the book called Sports Officiating, a career handbook. And you can give them a call at 575-0403. More Sports and Less Levine continues in a moment. We welcome Roger Perlmutter, who is... are you the author of this, or are you the compiler of this?
Well, I took it through from start to finish, and I had a great group of people that helped me with it.
Well, we'll talk about that. The book is called Sports Officiating, a Career Handbook, and something like 30,000 jobs come open every year. Is that correct? At the junior high, high school, CYO, YMCA level?
That's exactly right. Really, one of the reasons for writing the book was we talked to a number of the state athletic associations, and they said they needed more referees every year, and there weren't enough of them.
Right.
And so we tried to write a book that would help recruit referees.
Very good. And Bob Rice is with us. You've been with us on a radio gig before.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Nice to be back.
First of all, I apologize to both of you. We had a scheduling mix-up, and normally I would blame it on Patrick, but it caught me. They caught me in the cookie jar. I screwed up, and I apologize. Bob Rice, longtime official in the NFL. Then you became a supervisor.
Yes.
And now, because of a conflict of interest, to avoid a conflict of interest, your son Jeff is now an NFL rep. So
Right.
you said, "I'm out of here."
Yeah, that's right. Now I scout college games now, looking at prospective NFL officials.
Roger, I'm going to guess, and we'll get into the book a little bit, but my guess is that guys, like in any business, they start at the bottom, maybe making $5 a game at some, girls' junior high basketball game, for example, or something of that sort. And eventually they move up, or they get tired of it and get out, which is why there's always more jobs available. So, I mean, the response to your book has to have been terrific.
Yeah, it's only been out about a month, and there was no book like this. So when we put it together, so far it's been great. It's been...
What do you cover from starting point to finishing point, or who to call, who to write to, and
Exactly.
so on? So all those addresses are in the book?
Exactly. We have addresses of all the state athletic associations, which are the main source of getting into being an official, but starts as a 14-year-old youngster and moves up to somebody as prestigious as Bob. He wrote the introduction.
575-0403. I missed this show last night. I just, okay. Roger, of course, with the book Sports Officiating, and Bob, who has actually acted it out. How did you begin? Because I'm going to guess that the tips that Roger gives in his books are a little different than what it was when you started out way back when.
Yeah, well, I had played football in high school and college, and
for Woody Hayes at Denison.
Right, and when I went out and started coaching, got a job as a coach, and a little bit extra pocket money, officiating on the side. Started out with CYO, move up to junior high, JV, varsity, and I was lucky enough to get into the college level, and then...
And probably they were looking for referees so badly, you just showed up one day and they said, "Yeah, there's the field.
There it is.
Start blowing a whistle."
Well, if you can find it, you got give you a seeing eye dog.
Right, of course. You wear glasses now. Did you wear them on the field?
I wore glasses when I went off. Our feeling is, if you wear glasses off the field, wear them on the field.
Right. Now, when you would fly to a game, did they have to buy a seat for the seeing eye dog also, or was that free?
No, that was free. I crammed in the bag.
I see. We're going to take a break. We'll come on back. Bob Rice, former great NFL official, and Roger Perlmutter, a former great golfer. Roger Perlmutter is here, who has put together the career handbook, Sports Officiating. So when you started, and Bob Rice is with us, when you started, they probably wanted all the officials. They just threw anybody on and said, go get them.
Yeah.
Okay. Roger, what do you suggest, or Bob, what do you suggest now to somebody, let's say 23 years old, a big sports fan, and they want to become an official?
Well, the first thing you'd want to do is start at the local level, do some refereeing in the summer leagues and so forth. Make sure that
Making $10 a game, $15 a game?
Depends on what sport it is.
Yeah.
And then from there, you'd write to the State Athletic Association in the state you live in, which in Ohio is a wonderful athletic association, and
Right.
they'll send you a kit on and ask you what sports you want to be certified in.
Bob, I'm going to assume, just like in this business or a lot of businesses, people think they can call somebody and start at the top level. It doesn't work that way. You don't work the Super Bowl before you work the CIO games, CYO games.
That's right. Yeah, the NFL insists that before we even look at you, we want to have a minimum of 10 years experience.
Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, go ahead.
Hi, Les. I have two questions for you. Number one, this book that's been written, is it available in any of the local libraries around town?
The book, is it available at libraries or just in bookstores?
It's mainly available in libraries. That's basically who puts it on the shelf.
And there you can see the number where you can call, 216-591-1492, or 1-800-477-6345 to get this. So I would heartily suggest that if you've got somebody interested in officiating, and males and females these days.
Oh, yes, definitely. Minorities, males, females.
Right.
It used to be almost all males.
Right.
Now females and minorities are very much needed.
What else?
Okay, also, are there any seminars around town where young kids could go to learn about refereeing, to see whether they'd be interested in doing it?
You mean learning to hate them when they play,
Right.
or waiting until later years?
Anytime.
Any seminars? Anything that, do the referees get together and
Each area has an officials association.
Right.
For example, there's a Greater Cleveland Football Officials Association, and they meet during the season and prior to the season. There are also, for example, there are clinics held at Cleveland State University for basketball, football, softball, baseball.
for all age groups, or all levels?
Potential umpires and referees.
All right, very good. Janine Drymiller has joined us. She is the editor of the book Sports Officiating. And Bob Rice, of course, former NFL official. And we're taking your comments about NFL officiating or anything else. And Janine, first of all, welcome.
Thank you.
I didn't
Nice
mess
to be
you
here.
Did I mess you up too by thinking you were going to be here Friday?
Not that much.
Just these guys. Okay. Well, I'm on record as apologizing. You put first of all, what I assume the same things that Roger told us, why you put it together, but you had to have some help from an awful lot of officials and other management people.
Very much so. The NCAA, we had high school athletic directors, we had recreational league coaches and officials helping us with information, a wide array of people.
Right. Any reluctance to cooperate, or
No.
somebody said, you know something, there's never been a book like that, and there sure should be.
Well, we had that reaction quite a bit. In fact, even from as high up as the NBA, when we contacted some people at their public affairs office, and they were very surprised, and they were looking forward to it because they indicated they get a lot of calls at their office
Right.
for people who want to be, I want to be a professional.
And there's no outlet for that.
Exactly, and they
Yeah.
thought that this would be a very good idea.
Yeah. Bob, how much of favoritism and all that goes into it? For example, placements of games or better, or if we're talking about basketball, there might be some big-time officials who don't get to the Final Four, for example, or great officials that don't get to the NFL, to the playoffs or Super Bowl. How much is that a factor as opposed to judgment?
In the NFL, you're graded on every game you work, on everything you do or shouldn't have done or should have done. At the end of the year, each position, the number one grade, works the Super Bowl. So, and it's so that from that standpoint, there can't be any favoritism.
So they're not taking teams in, they're taking individuals who have not worked together all year for the most part.
Yeah, right.
Okay,
Right.
Would you like to see that change, where the top
No.
crew gets it?
No, because the problem is, like for example, every crew but one this year had a rookie, and we wouldn't really want to put a rookie in the Super Bowl.
Right.
So, and because of the clinics and the meetings and the sit down together that you have, and everybody knows each other because we're together so much, every position, every back judge, for example, pretty much works the same way. And the Super Bowl officials will get together Thursday before the Super Bowl, and they'll meet Thursday, Friday, Saturday, then they'll work the game Sunday.
Right.
So they'll have been together for quite a while talking about what they're going to do.
Now you've been in 2 Super Bowls. In fact, you have a ring Super Bowl
Yeah.
20 there, right? Here, why don't you put it up? We'll see if we can get it here. Super Bowl 20, which was New England getting creamed by the Chicago Bears, right? When the refrigerator ran for a
Refrigerator's
touchdown.
got a touchdown,
Yeah,
right.
let's see if we can. There you go. You get a good look at Super Bowl 20 ring. No matter how many years you've done it, the Super Bowl, it's a big game for the referee too.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
there nerves just like there would be for these players coming up
Oh,
next Sunday?
yeah. All kinds of butterflies.
Yeah. When does that begin?
It begins when you get the phone call saying you're going to work it.
Right.
Which is probably 2 weeks before the game.
Right.
They call you and say, hey, we've chosen you for the Super Bowl. Now the butterflies start. Then they keep going, and they keep getting stronger and stronger, and mine leave as soon as the ball's kicked on the opening kickoff.
It's like a player says, as soon as he gets hit, it's over,
yeah.
and then you're back. You could have been at Cleveland Heights High School doing the
Right,
game at
that's
that
right,
point, because
right.
it's still 100 yards and
Right,
all
yeah.
that stuff.
And one guy in a black shirt, one guy in a white shirt.
Yeah.
That's it.
Hey, Janine, as far as the book is concerned, in addition to the phone number that we gave and libraries, are they available in bookstores?
At this point, no.
Okay.
We've started to aggressively market the book, and we're hoping that within the next few months we'll have it available at the retail level, but we would suggest that people call us directly now at this
Okay,
point.
we'll get that phone number up. Bob Rice is with us, so is Roger Perlmutter. We're talking about officiating. Let's go to the phones. Hi, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi.
Hi.
I have a question for Bob or Roger. Is there a minimum age requirement for being an official, or is it different for different sports?
There's a minimum age to call this show, which is 16, but as far as
And
officiating...
she sounds very young.
No, she's... Yeah.
Anyway, for about 14 is when you can, in most districts, you can
What
start
a 14-year-old, what would he officiate?
Oh, baseball, usually baseball.
At the softball level for kids then?
And hardball.
Yeah.
My son did it, I did it.
It's got to be tough, Bob, because all the parents are there yelling and screaming, and if the kid... I'm assuming they take courses or they read enough books to know the rules of the game, or at least the basic rules, and yet there's always some parent giving them a hard time.
Oh, well, that's at all levels.
Yeah.
You know, that's the nice thing about officiating. You always got a lot of people there to help you do it.
Right. Sure.
But, in Ohio, and I think in most states, in order to work at the junior high or high school level, you have to be 18 and a high school graduate.
Right.
And from there, you just contact the state association, and they take you from there.
I got to go. Bill Needle tomorrow night with John Adams. Roger, thank you very much.
very much.
Bob, always a pleasure.
Nice to be here.
Okay, Bob Rice and Roger Perlmutter.